Welcome back to Active Vernon. We have a number of videos about our vacation from 2025, and in this first part, we're in Malaga.
We left Kelowna bright and early and flew Kelowna, Montreal, Madrid on Air Canada, and then Air Europa from Madrid to Malaga. We had an apartment in the Old Town, had a nice little patio for afternoon snacks, and it was very comfortable.
Yeah, it was a nice room, and it was pretty close to everything, like the Alcazaba, which was the royal castle, right?
Yes, that was built in the 11th century.
And the
Castillo Gibralfaro. I don't know how to pronounce that anymore.
And we also went for a nice long walk when we were in Malaga. How many days were we there?
We were there 4 nights. This great little restaurant, Casa Lola, was just a few steps from our apartment. We went there the first day we were there, and it was just wonderful to relax outside and have this really delicious food. Tomato and burrata salad and chicken, and we went back more than once.
Yeah. We did a lot of wandering around in town. Saw some of the murals and just some of the public artworks. And narrow streets, cute narrow streets.
Even though that street looked busy, Malaga overall didn't feel like jammed with tourists. Even though it was busy, it didn't feel packed.
Yeah, it wasn't that busy, and that was October?
Yes. This is the view from the Castillo overlooking the harbor. There were cruise ships on different days.
Little Roman amphitheater by the Alcazaba. Alcazaba is just up top of that.
And we just walked right past that Roman theater as we were hiking up to the castle. We hadn't intended to go into the castle and palace. We went up for the view, but when we got there, it was only 10 euros per person, and it included the audio guide. It included both locations, and it was valid for 48 hours. So we did the Castillo one day, and then the next morning we did the Alcazaba. And it was really nice doing that. We were there just after it opened, and so it was hardly any people there, and we were finished what we wanted to see by the time the tour buses arrived.
Yeah, because Malaga is a port city, and a lot of cruise ships come in. It was worth it to us to get to these tourist locations very early, see the sights. You don't really have to rush. And then as we were leaving the castle, there was like 4 tour buses up from the ships.
Very, very busy.
Came in.
The castle has a really great interpretive center and miniature recreations of the soldiers' uniforms over time. Yeah, it was just really nice. Lots of flowers around. We stopped one afternoon for a drink and some food, some tapas. It was croquettes. And then this is the Alcazaba. It was built in the 11th century, and it's a Moorish fortress, and it's one of the best preserved ones in Spain.
Yeah, it was a beautiful little place. Well,
I don't know if I'd call it little.
no.
It was just really, really interesting and fascinating to see how they would have lived then in the bath.
Yeah, here we had hardly anyone was around for our early morning start, and just as we were getting ready to leave, there was a huge school group of kids running around. So we were glad we missed that too, because the tour buses were also arriving at the same time. Yeah, it was a good look around.
And it was nice we could spread it over the 2 mornings. This I really liked this area. That's a jasmine that was in bloom and it smelled really pretty. And then I was reading about it. This is the Plaza de Armas, and it's where they stored the artillery and made decisions. So it was kind of like their war room originally, but it was a really beautiful spot now. And this is more inside the palace.
Yeah, it was beautifully preserved.
Yeah.
A lot of detail you don't see on things nowadays.
We spent afternoon by the sea, and we also did a long walk on the sea. So this is our afternoon at the sea. We had lunch at one of the seaside restaurants. I tried a plate of grilled sardines.
Yeah.
And we also walked through the market. The market was very busy, and as much as I wanted to buy some fruits and vegetables or something here we cooked a little bit in our apartment, it was a little bit too overwhelming. And we had a grocery store 2 blocks away from our apartment that we shopped at. And so this is Malaga Beach. The Senda Litoral runs along the coast for 200 kilometers. Malaga is partway along, and so we walked about 8 or 9 kilometers east, and then we also did a western section. It's well used, people running, walking, cycling, and it's nice. It's all along the beach, and there's little restaurants. Mornings were often a little bit overcast, and then it cleared in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a beautiful long beach. And good cycling facilities there along
and washroom facilities.
Yes,
that were open. This is key, that were open. And I got to swim in the sea. It was a nice sandy bottom. The water was warm. There was no undercurrent, and the waves were just rolling in nicely. So on the day we walked from where we were staying along to El Palo Beach. That's where we kind of decided to turn around.
So from the lighthouse on one end by the cruise port, following the walking path. Oh, what was the name of this thing?
It's often called just the parasol. It's made out of concrete. It was built in a wave formation to represent the waves from the sea. And it was nice. It provides nice shade in the afternoon. And when the cruise ships are in, there's markets along the walkway in that part. This is known as El Cubo, the cube. It's the Centre Pompidou Malaga. It's a museum that's located at the port, and it was the first branch of Paris's Centre Pompidou outside of France.
Here's a view of the beach from as we were walking along, looking back towards the busy area. There was a environmental school, it looked like, where these kids were learning how to do boating and rowing and so. And this was a mural in El Pao, where we turned around.
Desalinde Yao, these signs we saw all as we were leaving. Getting onto the eastern end of Malaga, there was these signs up on many buildings. There's a friction, unresolved issues with the government around who actually owns the buildings and the land of a lot of these seaside type places.
It was a cute little place. We went to a couple of towns, and they have these cafes at the waterside. It was very nice. I enjoyed our trip parts in Malaga.
I did. I would go back there. I really enjoyed it. I wish we'd had another day.